sparkles. Hello, hello. Yeah, this is something a little bit different. I've obviously never done anything live streaming before, but thought, you know, well, let's give it a try. And I have a video to edit right now, so let's have a quick go at this. Let's see if anyone's interested in watching me do some editing. I have had one video before where I did some editing, which was showing using this exact editing software, Cyberlink Power Director, to do Mimi's effect that was in Peach's Quest Part 6. So I do have one video on that if you are interested in anything along the lines of video editing. But I was going to just show something a little bit natural, which is the way I just put in sound effects and do the whole process here. So I'll give you a quick overview and then I'll start actually doing it, I guess, just the way I do it, because I've been doing this for like 14 years and not really shared much about how I do things. It's kind of changed over the years a little, but there's things that I've learned, things that could be interesting for other people, and probably I also don't always do everything the most effective way. Like, there are certain shortcuts I could be taking that could be kind of useful for me. So yeah, there will be some slight spoilers for the next episode, but I'm not going to go too far into it. Like, this is the literal very start of it right now. I've already filmed it, pretty much. Already got sound effects lined up. I've got music lined up, is what I should say, which I've spent a while thinking about choices of music that would fit each scene I've got. But let's see what now. How do I can do this? Probably. I guess it's possible I might have the wrong mic. Let me check. Oh yeah, that looks better. Okay, it's actually picking up the right one. Well, that makes a big difference. Thank you. And yes, this is unexpected for me as well. I didn't really know I was planning to do this today, but here we are. Something a little different. Okay, so here's the very start of it, and I have got Mario, Luigi, and Donkey Kong here. So I need to put in some sound effects. So I'll start with something fairly simple for Mario. What I usually do is order these by duration, which helps me to find like short things that go early on, because it doesn't really matter exactly what he says. Yeah. That sounds like the sort of thing he would say when he's using this Ender Pearl Eye of Ender. So try and line that up with when he does that. And we need one. He's the first one in, isn't he? So we'll probably make him say something before that. Although it's not required. Let me see. So definitely need the other two to acknowledge themselves. So I'll put that in first. So that's definitely too much. Let's see what we got here. This is often, especially with Donkey Kong, I haven't really named his sounds because I've not used him all that much. So you can see these are very, very random looking. So I just sort of go for the shortish one that I want. What's he gonna say? That seems alright. Let's go with that. Probably Luigi will say something first though, so let's see what Luigi could say. Ha! It could be something more positive.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. So let's see how that looks.
Oh yeah.
So at this point, it suddenly starts snowing whilst that's up in the air. So I need to decide whether Mario's going to go like, because he's wondering what's going on all of a sudden. or there's... That's a little bit too emphatic for right now. It's a bit more like, Something like that. Okay. And then it cuts to this scene in the desert. And I need an earthquake sound effect here for this. So let's see. One in particular, I like to use this as the one. That's quite good. Yeah, that one's a bit too robot sounding. And it goes on a little bit longer than this sound does. So what I often do in that case is sort of duplicate it but merge them into each other. Let's just see if this sort of thing sounds a bit better. And that needs its own boom. So let's see what we got here. I guess I should probably check chat as well. The audios, they are from a website called mfgg.net, Mario Fan Games Galaxy, which is where I've got most of my sounds from for absolutely ages. This, for example, is a pack of Super Paper Mario sound effects that I've got here. It's like every single Super Paper Mario sound effect, which is really, really useful. It covers all sorts of scenarios. There is a link to MFGG in most of my videos. If you want a direct link, it's in the description. I haven't put it in this one, but so let's see. We need some sort of boom. I'm trying to think which one would be best here, because there are some that are from Super Smash Brothers, which I sometimes use, but these are quite. They sound a little bit too nuclear. Maybe something. Could try something like that one. Let's see how this looks. And the Ender Dragon comes in slightly. I'll maybe think on that one. I'm not sure if that fits exactly, but it needs to time with the music. Maybe I'll just let the music do it, honestly, because the music does sort of... So let's see what Bowser can say. Oh, I haven't even... Oh yeah, I have got Bowser. There is a little laugh, which seems appropriate here. So I need to try and... one of the challenges here is being able to hear him as well as the dragon, because if I play these at the same time, it sounds a bit weird that just as the dragon gets loud, Bowser starts talking. So what I will probably do is adjust these slightly for that. Either that, I think that probably does work. It means I might just make Bowser come in a little earlier. I think that probably works, so let me just... make it a little later. Something like that works. Okay. Desktop volume is a little loud. Okay, let me handle that. I think that's this. Does this help a little? Is that better? I think that handles that. I do appreciate the help with balancing this, as I've not really got this set up for live streaming. It's basically just here to record Minecraft at the moment, OBS, so. So yeah, those three are now like noticing that the dragon is up there. Have I used... Oh, cool, thanks. Have I used Sony Vegas before? I haven't, actually. This is kind of similar. I don't know exactly all the differences between this and Sony Vegas. But what I like about this one is that I can put absolutely tons of sound effects in here. Like, you can see on the side here, I've got hundreds of these. I have reached the limit, which it's like 2,500 is the limit that this can handle or something. Maybe it's more than that, actually. It feels a bit low. But I have had this message come up where it's warned me that I've got too many sound effects in. But I very rarely get that far, so it's pretty good. It lets me have lots and lots of channels, which I often need for when there's a lot of action happening. So I'm quite happy with this software. I have tried others occasionally. Like I tried one that was free that was supposedly quite good, but I found that it was hitting performance issues really quickly. Can't remember what it was called now, but that was a few years ago.
Oh yeah.
So he needs to notice the dragon. So there'll be like a at that point. And they do not know what this dragon is at all by this point. So this kind of makes sense at this point. Imagine you just see a dragon flying through the air, completely out of nowhere. Something else. I love these sound effects. They're like my favorites because they can apply to like anything. I get annoyed hearing the same sound effects. Yeah, it gets a bit repetitive, I have to say, but I've got used to it, you know. You sort of hear the same ones a lot. I often know exactly which ones I want for certain scenarios, which really helps though, so the familiarity is kind of useful. Yeah, I want to make sure that times exactly with when he saw that. And it looks like Luigi made a little nod afterwards, so there's no... He goes, oh. Where's his O? Is it double H? Right?
Oh! Oh!
That's the one I'm thinking of.
Oh!
Not too close though, see that was a little bit too overlappy.
Oh!
Donkey Kong has also not said anything in this, so I'll probably just, seeing as he seems to be the least important for this scene, I'll make him say something small in here. There's one of him like, Yes, that one. It's more like he's seen it though. It seems like he's like realized, so might go a little bit later. For the person who's asked, how do I get the sound effects? They're mostly from mfgg.net, Mario Fan Games Galaxy. There's a lot that they have on there. You just need to search for the right character that you want. And a lot of them are from Mario and Luigi. These ones here that I haven't renamed myself for Donkey Kong, they're from Mario Kart Wii. I mean, I say Wii, but I think a lot of these have been reused in Mario Kart 8, so a lot of them are quite similar for a lot of the characters anyway. Yeah, DK was introduced in part 2 of this, and he latched onto them. So if you've not seen the whole of this Minecraft series, then I'd recommend it. Obviously, slightly biased. After the Minecraft Quest series, what's my plan? I have some ideas, but none are fixed enough for me to know exactly what. But I think immediately will probably be a bit of a break in January. I'm hoping to get this video out pretty soon. It depends how this editing goes. So this is Cyberlink Power Director, this software. I'll see if I can find a link to MFGG just to, seeing as, and then I can hopefully post it. So flag me as spam or something. Yeah, I am pretty familiar with the sound effects, that is true. So, I think that sound's actually not going to be useful here, it turns out.
Oh.
There could be, so... It needs to be a fairly just... one that's not really going to get your attention, because it's not the most important sound here, so... Most of Donkey Kong's sound effects are quite sharp though, so it's often difficult for me to find one that's fairly passive here. That's not too bad actually, let's go with that. So that means this now looks like... Actually, you know what? Scrap that. I'll make him actually notice it at the end of there. But with a pretty small sound effect, so something like this. Now that was quite close to the end, so I usually try not to go too close. And I don't have any dragon effects here yet, but we do want one, so let's think which one of these. Not the dragon dying sound effect, we don't have. Haven't used this one. The little tick means I've used it somewhere in the timeline, so I'll keep it quite quiet to show that it's far away from them. Do I time it for the zoom in, or do I make that when Bowser says something? So Bowser's probably going to go... He's got a few different laughter effects. Like this classic. Seems like it would probably work quite well. I'll make it quiet. And then Mario's probably going to react quite like, ooh, to that. So let's see what we've got. I think we'll do a...
Mum.
That's the shot.
Mamma mia.
This looks like this will work pretty well for him.
Mamma mia.
That will work pretty well there. It needs to say something first that's a little bit... Maybe an eek. It's not quite what I was imagining at first, but it...
Mamma mia.
And then they get out swords. Okay, let's just double check this bit. Do I like that? I would probably time this differently.
Mamma mia.
That needs to be earlier because of the transition.
Mamma mia.
Okay. I might come back to that, we'll see. It's often a bit iterative, this. So I need a sound effect for them getting out the swords now, which is going to be like... Is that the one? No, it's not that one. Is it called metal something? This is the part where I rewatch the previous episode to try and remember what I actually did. Because there is a particular sound effect that I used. It's right at the start of some of these. I can't find it. Okay, I'll come back to that. So those two go forwards and they're just charging, so at that point, Mario will say something like,
Oh yeah.
not like that. What would he say?
Woohoo. Hee hee. Sweet. Oh yeah.
I often just play through a bunch of these until something sounds about right,
Woohoo.
when I'm not entirely sure what would be
Game over.
best. It's probably like him.
Woohoo.
It could be that. I think something a little bit more like charging would be better, so that's a bit more. Which I just need to time correctly. And then DK will do something similar. Let's see. That seems about the right length. And then Luigi at this point is like, wait guys. So he's like, oh, hey, oh, huh? Something confused.
Oh.
Not like that.
Oh. Look out. Ah.
Where's that? There's like one that's like, what? What is it?
Wah. Wah. Wah.
No, it's not called that. What?
Oh.
Not that.
Wow. What?
That's the one. There we go. Does that even fit though? No, I don't think it does fit. So let's go with an A or something. What? Because he's basically going against them and saying, no, I think we should be doing something else. So and he can probably just call out to Mario. That seems like not like that.
Mario. 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 Mario.
So many Marios. Pick your Mario.
Mario.
Probably this one seems decent.
Mario. Mario.
This one's like, hey Mario, what are you doing? Come back.
Hey, Mario.
Except that will time with when he looks up.
Mario.
Okay, that will do for now. I'll look for that sword sound effect later because I can't recall what it is off the top of my head. Right, now we're in Toad Town. The rain effect's quite loud here, isn't it? But I think I'll keep it like that because it emphasizes that there's actually rain for once. Hello chat, thank you for the words of encouragement. Glad you're enjoying it. So in Toad Town then, what have we got here? So we obviously need some Toad voices. They come outside. Huh? So I think there needs to be like a little something for them opening the door here. It's a bit too loud. Yeah, that one's a little bit. Yeah, something like that will probably do for them looking up and then I'll do a quieter version for the one at the back maybe. So what would they say? Something like this maybe. If we turn it down. A bit later. And then yeah, something like this folks. Might make it a little quieter than that. Let's see. Even that didn't actually seem that quiet. Let's try one more. This is how I decrease the volume, which is really convenient because I have to do that quite a lot. I think all of this I'm likely to come back to off stream and see if I like it a second time round, because I think I'll probably be a bit, you know, clearer in the head when I'm not explaining stuff and finding things. So it may change slightly from this, but I think a lot of this will stay. So yeah, let's see. And yes, this is the cake factory. You mean like this chicken? So yeah, we need this guy to some sort of, yeah, that will do. So we're looking up. And at this point I'm going to need some chicken sound effects, which I haven't actually put in yet, so let's go track those down. See. Chicken. Those are the three that we want. Actually, I might possibly need these, so. Plop. It's pretty quiet, this chicken sound effect, so I may just up that. It'd be kind of cool if it just did like one little when it looks up, but none of these are one, so what I'll do is I'll trim one of them to make that, I think. This one is the best contender for that though, so let's see. If I just trim that, so each of these is like, you can see it's got 3 little times where it speaks. If I just cut it to the first one, try and time that with when it looks up. Oh, still seems really quiet though, so let me just make those louder. Maybe not that one though. Try something like that. And it looks like the toad shakes his head a little bit here. So I'll make him say something like, oh no, oh. Not that. That's a little bit over the top. Scared is probably the right, so let me just see what scared options are. Yeah, that seems good. So I've got quite a lot of time to play with here between that and the next sound effect. So I won't want it too close. That actually seems quite loud now. Chicken is quite echoey. Okay. Same Wario plush. That I probably wouldn't recommend getting the same Wario that I have, although he's kind of funny. I think he is a fake one, but you can find similar ones somewhere online. Normally I prefer to get Sane plushes. Those are generally the official ones. You can also get fake Sanes though, so it does get a bit muddy sometimes, but there are the official Sane website has the best ones, I would say. Some samples of Daisy sound effects. If you go to mfgg.net, there are Daisy sound effect packs on there, so you'd be able to find some. I don't have Daisy in this episode, so I've not got any to hand, but I think the ones that I use are mostly from Mario Kart Wii again. There's loads of different Mario Kart Wii ones on there. Okay. He does have a nice silly design, I quite like that as well. Which is why I've not changed him, even though I do have an alternative Wario.
Residents of the Minecraft world, you must bow down to the Koopa Troop, or this dragon will destroy your homes. the truth.
So this toad could say something here because he moves slightly. But he also maybe doesn't need to, so I'm just going to leave that there.
This dragon will destroy your homes.
So at this point, there's now going to be terrified toad effects. That was pretty terrified. Maybe that's... no, that one's really long. Don't really want that. Okay. The one at the back will also have to say something. So what can the one at the back do? Because there's only those 4, and I'm not sure they're all appropriate. Those terrified ones. What else have we got? That could do for like the later bit, because like it's an initial terrified, and then it tones it down a little bit afterwards. So that one could do. I'll just pull that over just in case. Let's see what else we've got for scared toads. No, that's too... Some of these just sound like they're like huddled in a corner, which isn't right, but some of them could work for just a quick drive-by scared noise. I think that one might be useful as well. But I think we could go terrified here. That one. This one ends with a little oh, which I don't really need, so I'll cut that off. Let's see here. The Daisy plush was a Sane one. It was an official one. Mario Sports sound effect. I used some from Mario Super Sluggers, for example. These Magic Koopa ones that I use for Kamek, they're from Mario Super Sluggers, which is a bit of an obscure one. I do have a few from Mario, I think it's Mario and Sonic at the Winter Olympics or something, but I don't use those much because that was, I think this was for the DS version that I've got them. Yes, the toads are pretty scared at the prospect of this this dragon destroying their homes. So.
Destroy your homes.
So that might need to be a little earlier. So there's going to be a few of these. Let's see what else. Oops, the toad sound effects. That could do. I find that it's quite shriekish, so I try not to overuse this one, but. And the one in the back can be like. Let's actually see this one. Yes, then the one at the back can come in a little later, and I'll make them quiet. It is a lot of toad sound effects. So I'm not totally happy with the way these line up right now, so let me just... I need to say something here, so I think I kind of need more. I could put this one here. This looks like... This one, yeah, that can go when he goes into the house. And like, the what ends with him closing the door like that. Nobody's home. There's no point destroying this house. So obviously I don't need anything for that one. Okay. Are Bowser's minions in the Minecraft world? Yes, some of them. Well, Kamek is, and Koopa. But that's pretty much it. A lot of them are quite hard to have normal Minecraft skins for. So, like, imagine having how a Goomba would look in a Minecraft skin. Doesn't quite work. So, but there's also Hammer Bro, because anything Cooper-like works quite well as a skin. Destroy your homes, and then this one's a little loud compared to that previous sound effect. So. And then something like, so yeah, this is just a small visual joke of him destroying these random things that say no Bowser's on them as he's about to go into his house. I imagine that probably most people wouldn't even see what's going on here because it's a little bit random, but it's just there for anyone who notices it. You know, there's quite a lot of things that I've put into the videos like that. Okay, and then we probably need another one for the guy in the background. Something like, what sort of scared noises do we have? Like, no, not that one. Any of these sound good? It needs to be a slightly longer one, I think. Yeah, maybe that. These ones are from Luigi's Mansion, these particular. And then there could be a short one at the end from just going up there. Something on the scared line. Oh, yes, I have seen this mod about customizable player models. It does look kind of cool. Someone shared that with me on Blue Sky a couple of weeks ago. I haven't fully tried it out yet, but I have been playing with similar mods. Like, I'd quite like to use shaders in the next series, but it didn't really make sense to do that just for the last part of this when all the other episodes haven't got all that fancy shadery stuff. So, yeah, I might possibly be switching those up if we come to more Minecraft in future. Oh, hey, Stash Bros. Toad crying is just summarizes the editing process, I think. So yeah, also looking for a shorter one here. What's the shortest scared? No, that's the next one. Okay, so I might need to go for something else. These are too short, really. Maybe? I'll see how it looks. It just seems a bit... It doesn't feel like he's in a panic, though. Yeah, maybe this owl, actually. I might need to rename that one because owl seems a bit misleading, but... Yeah, okay, that seems like it works. Yeah, I quite like Blue Sky, honestly. I feel like people are noticing that Twitter's algorithm is very much based around, like, for one thing, people interacting with, like, rage bait, because it makes people like things, reply to things, see more adverts, basically. But also it suppresses links to other places, which for a lot of people, especially creators, if you want to promote your stuff, like your links to YouTube, you kind of want that to be something that people will see. You don't want Twitter's algorithm to just, you know, throw that to the bottom of the pile. So that is one nice thing about Blue Sky. But obviously, it's on the other hand, it's still growing a little. It's mainly waiting on, I think, bigger people to move there. That would be the nice thing, but to be honest, I've already started replacing a lot of what I use Twitter for with it, so. Alright, so we got a scene here of the toad going into a cake. And at that moment where we see his face, we're going to want him to... Where's the little hat? Which one is that? Which one is it? That's the one. I like this one. So at the moment we see his face. Wait, there is another one actually that I'm thinking of. That could be interesting when the chicken's about to come over in a second. Yeah, people did try and move from Twitter a few times, but it never really got much traction, which probably explains why not everyone's moved this time either, but it has noticeably, a lot of the content that I was following has moved over, so I'm quite happy to just occasionally nip back to Twitter from time to time, but I will be doing both Minecraft and plush stuff. A lot of the reason why we do a lot of Minecraft content right now is because my sister lives in London and I don't, so we're quite far away. But when she comes back, that's when we filmed some of the stuff in the past, like, what was the last plush video we released? Well, like last year, she's been away for a couple of years, so like last year there was the video involving Nova, and there was the Mario movie one as well. We filmed those like pretty quickly. Oh yeah, of course this year there was the Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door tie-in, the Glit Split video. It turned out to be 40 minutes long and was far longer than I expected it to be. What's this called? This is going to be Mario's Minecraft Quest Part 6. So this is the next episode of this Minecraft series. And I might turn those into a movie, yeah, that is a good point. With the Mario's Quest and Luigi's Quest ones, I waited for the 10-year anniversary, but I probably won't do that with this series. I might release it a bit earlier. Because right now, YouTube likes long videos, and so it kind of makes sense to do the most with that whilst it's popular. And some people might like that content, that form of watching it, but I probably wouldn't make it a full remaster like I did with those. I probably wouldn't be redoing as much because it's much more recent that I've actually edited these, so there's not as much that I'd change, I think. So, let's see what we've got here. Probably a brief bit of panic. Which, let's see what we've got here. I could reuse some. I'm avoiding the ones with the ticks because they're like reused. Although actually I haven't actually put this one in yet. And then you use a little jumping sound effect. That's like throwing something I usually think of. Maybe that one feels a bit too resigned. Wait, these ones are the same. Why do I have them both? I'll just get rid of that one. I don't like any of them. This one will do. That one's the closest, I think. So he now there's like some sort of, I'm imagining some sort of frantic panic as he's going through all these cakes. Like he's going a bit insane or something. Let's just search for spacebar. So at this point, it feels like the sound effect that I choose here is probably going to make this scene funnier if I pick the right one. So this might be something I come back to, but I'll see what I can find for now. Like it could be a weird laugh. Could be this Yahoo of him going like, that is my first instinct out of all these. And then I'd probably put in some sort of effect for the cake. Oh, sorry, I've missed a few messages. Peach's Quest Remaster. Yeah, I think I will do one. I don't know when. It's probably not imminent, but it would be nice. I could possibly wait for the 10-year anniversary again for that one. Daisy's Quest. I don't have any plans for a new quest right now, so I don't know who would even star. But the more obscure the characters get, the less people tend to go, oh, that's interesting. So yeah, I don't know how obscure I'd go with characters. I mean, Daisy's not exactly obscure, but compared to some of them, it sort of loses a bit of impact potentially, if that makes sense. What kind of music do I listen to? I'm sure if you asked any of my friends, they'd just say weird stuff, but the actual answer is a combination of video game music or like remixes of that with other stuff. So I don't actually tend to listen to Mario soundtracks on their own that often, unless I'm about to edit a video and I'm trying to like get my head into what music choices I could make. But other kinds of soundtracks a lot of the time. Will this stream be public or unlisted? I mean, at this point, who's to say? This is my first time doing anything like this, so I don't even know. I'll see how I feel afterwards, I guess. But for now, I assume it will probably stay public. It is nice to have your hair stash, Bryce. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I have. It takes me a while to pick music, honestly. I'm quite happy with some of my later choices on Friday night, because I love spending my Friday nights just editing, apparently. I spend like 3 hours staring at all the music, trying to work out what I'm going to put in later. So, like, here's some spoilers of what's coming up. But I don't think we'll be editing that far today. I'll see. We're actually quite far through, although I do need to go through like a second pass at this. But I usually edit about a minute of footage in an hour. So, and I've been going for just under an hour now. So, considering I need to go back and edit a couple of extra things, it hasn't actually been too different to usual. Oh, nice. Spreading the word. So that now seems a bit too much for me. Like, I need something really short here. Maybe even that. Maybe this comes in earlier. And then, yes, I will need to find some sort of sound effect. Do I have, like, the eating sound effect from Minecraft? Because that would make sense here, wouldn't it? Let's see. It is a love stream. Wait, do I have any? I don't have any love scenes in this, I'm afraid. Can't think of any immediately. I think I have some unused clips where we managed to get the heart particle effect coming out of some of the actors, though. So, what's my favorite Mario game music to listen to? I think you might have noticed I've been using a lot of Origami King recently, and that I think is currently my favorite soundtrack. For a while, it used to be Mario and Luigi Dream Team was my favorite, just because that one is kind of a darker sounding soundtrack than a lot of the rest of Mario. So it stands out as being, like, different. but in a good way, of course. How long does it take to make a Minecraft Quest video? A long time. Most of my spare time since the last episode has gone into this, so like filming it, editing it so far. Like obviously I'm right at the start of it in terms of the sound effects, but I've already put video in for, let me just zoom out, 15 minutes of it, and it's not even at the final scenes yet, so there's quite a lot in here. Yeah, I do love the recent Paper Mario soundtracks. I mean, to be honest, all the Paper Mario soundtracks, like even the very first one has its own cozy feel to it, and then Thousand Year Door feels like nice and epic, is how I describe that one, which is why it suited Luigi's Quest pretty well. I used a lot of it for that. The cake sound effect is a bit different. It probably is actually playing in this. Let me maybe just isolate that for a second and see if it is playing. It's like fluffy sounding, isn't it? Yeah. There is something there, but it muffled out by the rain, and also it doesn't quite sound as funny as I'm looking for. Favorite Goomzilla Mario character from my videos. In terms of the way I portray them, probably something like Luigi. He's usually a good for a laugh. Oh, and the Goombas. If it's a plush video, then I love the Goombas. Like, they're just so easy to just do silly things with and not worry too much because they're Goombas, so. I do have these eating sound effects. Let me see if they seem appropriate. I can't remember if I used any eating sound effects in the Cake Factory video, because I think at one point Wario just goes mad eating the cake, doesn't he? So let me see what I used for that. This sometimes does happen where I just end up looking at previous videos to remember what I did in certain situations, because I'm like, oh, it would be good to do the same thing here.
Yeah, baby.
Yep, I did do this. I put in those effects. Looks like I know myself too well. So I'll probably do that again. Let's see. Yeah, I haven't listened to Brothership's soundtrack yet either. I haven't played it yet. Not got around to it because it's only been out pretty recently. I've always been quite bad at being on top of the latest releases, but I try and be a little more up to date with it now that I've got it. Well, you know, for the channel it makes sense to try and tie things in with the releases. I mean, for example, I first played The Thousand Year Door in 2010, where I got it for £2 online, which was a bit of a bargain in the days before that started to rapidly go up in price. GameCube game for £2. So what I did here is I just alternated all three of these, but that sounds a little too natural, and I kind of want it to sound goofy, so I'm gonna alternate just two of them because it's more noticeable to someone if that's what's going on. So let me try that and see. Okay, it actually needs to go on longer, but I think I like that. Yeah, that also times quite well, it seems like, with him. Let me just double check if I got the first one. No, I didn't. Okay, so the earliest one needs to go a bit further here. The Minecraft models I found them online, but they are based off the official Nintendo ones that were released for the Wii U version of Minecraft. The Wii U ones have like 3D models, though, is the difference, so this is not quite the same. Like, Yoshi is a particular example of someone who's lost a lot because his schnoz doesn't go out as long. He's a very flat-faced fella. Okay, I think I like that, but we need a few more, so let's keep these alternating here. And then he plops down. Do those still time up? I think there might be a break. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then there's a slight gap. It's 7 in a cake, isn't it? It's such a weird number. Schnoz. Yeah, that's that's my latest word for nose. Goomba at the end of Mario's Quest. Oh, Goomfree. We just made him decide that he kind of didn't want to be there anymore. There's not really a defined thing that we've made happen with him, though. It's true. We've not like cleared up his arc at all. I might play around with that, see if I like the positioning of it later, but for now that'll probably do. I'm trying to keep the balance between not driving everyone insane by redoing the same bit over and over and actually getting the video done here, so I'll probably just come back to some things later. So I feel like when he drops in here we want to go like a little, I think I have a falling sound effect of some sort. I don't like any of those. So there are some from Super Mario World which I have, which are often my go-to with this kind of thing. Let's drag those in. Snoot's been pretty good. She's, I think, downstairs right now, curled up somewhere. Nova, that is. So we want the fall. Oh, is that what it's called? It's maybe a bit too much, so I might just quieten it or something. Yeah, that seems a bit better. So do I want another toad sound effect there? Let's just check. Yes, I think so. Just some sort of maybe like, let me just see where this. I do want a different toad sound effect. Where is that one that I'm trying to find? I think it's called Ha. Yes, that one. There we go. That's the one. So we want that to time with him. And then he does shake a little bit, so probably like... Meanwhile, this chicken's going to come in a second, but I'll sort the toad bits first. Well, I introduced Diddy Kong. Don't have any plans right now. I almost actually put him in this video, but it would have been as a random cameo. So I didn't quite end up doing that. He just has a Minecraft skin. I don't have a plush of Diddy or Donkey Kong. So I need something nervous. Scared?
Oh, no! Oh, no!
I think this one's the most appropriate for this situation.
Oh, no!
So I think that can be when he realizes what's going on, and there can be a little first. Maybe that? So many hers. This one I think is probably my favorite right now. So at the moment he sees the... So the chicken might then say something here. Okay. So I've not quite timed that right with when it... So there's another toad effect that needs to go in here. Maybe the bat actually works quite well for one of the moment. I think it's something short before. I'm just trying to find anything that might just about fit, because he does bob his head for a little bit, but I kind of want something fairly short. Like this. Yeah, I really do want to use shaders sometime. That would be nice. Probably the next video we'll use that, just because I imagine it might be a bit of a woe for some people though, if they're like used to seeing it more like playing the game or like this. No, I can get away with something shorter. Like that maybe. And then there's some sort of oh. Disappointed. Maybe. Rats. And now we need to actually put the chicken sound effects in, so let's see. Plop. So I've just used that so far. Where are the other two? Let's search. Choi chicken. They sound quite passive, these, and echoey and quiet, so they're not really great, but this one fits quite well because it's just bum, 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 let me down. Just make that a little earlier. So. Do I need another chicken sound effect? So me just rewatch this whole clip to see how it looks together. So whether the moment the chicken turns around there, I think I might put a short one in as well. So if I shorten this to just the first bit. I think I've got two in there. It's sometimes quite hard to see when these are quiet, but okay, first one. What kind of boomerang bro do I have? The hammer and boomerang bro are the same type, of assuming you mean plushes. And I think they are Sane ones, but it has been a while. I think I got them for Mario's Quest Part 6. That would have been in 2012. And that was around the time that I started switching to using the official ones rather than just getting anything. Oh. yeah. I don't actually watch many plush tubers, to be honest. It's maybe an unexpected answer to that. The one that got me into this was his name was Tala Amir, or I think his channel at the time was Born for This something or other, and it was a video called Bowser's Revenge, which was a plush video that inspired me to make Bowser's Mushroom Factory. All the rats. This is Cyberlink Power Director, which is what I've been using to edit since, well, right near the beginning, honestly. I've bought a few different versions of it over time. This particular one is version 18, which was just, I can't remember why I upgraded a few years back, but I think this one now is a couple of years old. I don't know much about Mario Party Island Tour. I don't think I've got any sound effects from that, but a lot of the Toad sound effects they have reused over the time. Like, sometimes I'll just play a new Mario game and be like, I recognize that Toad sound effect. They've used that like 15 years ago. Has Wiggler been in the video? Yes, he's been in one that was released this year. The Glitz and Glory video that I released in June to tie in with the release of the 1000 Year Door remake. Yeah, I mostly use Sane. There isn't an official one, you say? Okay, I'm not entirely sure where I got mine from then. I don't think I'd even have a receipt from that long ago. And I also don't have the plush here to be able to check it. But if you've seen my plush collection video, I might have said in there where I got some of them. I'm not sure if I said it for that particular one, but something doesn't feel right. I think there's something up with this sound effect, but I'll probably sort that in post. I think I need to edit that. Yeah, something off with it.
Oh, no!
I think the chicken needs to say something as it runs in there. Which comes... If I maybe move both of these, oops, a little earlier. That probably works. Next we come to the desert. So I've got a few different characters here that come out to see what the fuss is all about. So at the moment Wario lifts his head up, we definitely want him to go rap. Wario's always very, I don't know how to describe it, but in these videos he's been quite rude, I suppose, in this Minecraft series, especially well, he's only been in that one desert episode, but he's been a bit of a rebellious teenager. So I think maybe no. Now the A is more like, what are you doing? And then there's no real time for Wario to say anything else, honestly, in that one, so. Seems like Toadette probably needs to say something at the end. Yeah, actually that one works pretty well. I'm not the most familiar with Toadette's sound effects because I don't use her all that often, but that finishes quite abruptly, so I might just make that a little earlier again. So So just something not particularly emphatic for her going along here. Just like, you know, fairly passive sound effect. Maybe some sort of element of confusion. Might be hard to... Wait, why is that one so long? That's such a quick sound effect. I'm gonna have to listen to a lot of these to try and work out which one. Confusion. Is there any kind of... Let me just actually search. Oh no, there won't be any because I've not renamed these. Does Goofree deserve his own quest? I probably wouldn't make a Goofree's quest as such, but I have thought about doing Goomba having a quest of some sort. It is definitely one of the top options. Something involving a Goomba having a quest. Wario is very wah, I agree. Sorry. Could be this kind of disappointed one. And then the police toad should probably get a word in as well. You can probably fit in here without overlapping anyone else too much. No, these are too long now. Used to be. Maybe that. This guy's kind of goofy as well a bit, so I don't mind him being a bit more enthusiastic. Could even put another one in for him. No, there's too much going on now. Let's just try with this. No, we'll backtrack on putting that one too late because better. Least favorite character. Have I had any that I disliked particularly in the Mario and Luigi's Quest era? I'm trying to think who was in that, who I didn't really like having to do anything with. I can't think of any immediately. There's quite a lot of unique characters in Luigi's Quest, like Bo and Bootler, Francis. I suppose if I had to put someone at the bottom, I might pick one of the random minions that was with the Lakitu. Like, who was there? There's that tiny little shy guy, and they just didn't really do all that much, but that's not really any fault of theirs. It's just that I didn't really make their characters do much, I suppose. Do I plan on making more interactive videos? I did enjoy making them, and I think the Among Us one I did because Among Us really fitted the idea of someone choosing who they thought was the killer, so I would definitely make more like that if it felt like there was a good reason to. Yoshi and the Lost Egg was obviously the first one that I did. Each interactive video takes like twice as long as one normal video, and the way it splits out into lots of different parts makes it really awkward to handle sometimes, but I do enjoy them, so I would absolutely do another one if I had a good idea for it. Do I use my own voice for Bowser? Yes, when he speaks. So I have this, this is every speech. Oh, get rid of that. All these are the speeches that are in this episode. So, like,
I'll send the mobs to do it.
that's one of the Bowser sounds that I've recorded for this ahead of time. Plush tutorials I don't have any plans for. My sister's done a lot of the more recent ones, apart from I did that elephant fruit last year to tie in with Super Mario Wonder. Yeah, I think interactive videos are pretty fun as well, aren't they? I feel like the difficulty is worth it for the reward of it just being an interesting story, but I need to make sure I have something that I'm really happy with going through, because originally I was going to make Wario the Bankrupt an interactive video, but you might go, how would that have even worked? It was going to be that you pick which job you wanted Wario to do out of the three, so there'd be, what were the options? Policeman, dentist, and working for Bowser. But then it didn't really branch properly. They'd sort of merge into one at the end was what I was originally planning, and I just decided it wouldn't make sense. So yeah, I ended up waiting another like 5 years before actually making an interactive video. I sound like how Bowser would sound if he was real. It's probably because you might have heard my Bowser voice, I guess. Maybe that biases you towards thinking I'm Bowser, because it is literally just me but down an octave.
No,
that's not a great example of a Bowser voice, though. Where are they?
Residents of the mine.
That one's also echoey, so you don't really want to go for that one.
I'll send the mobs to do it.
I'll send the mobs to do it. Well, I guess which one was me and which one was the recording. You just can't tell. Okay, so where are we here? These guys coming too. So when they start firing off their bows, they need to do something.
Primo, watch it.
Could do a watch it type effect. But probably not. Let's see.
Whoa. Whoa.
This one's quite good. It's like he's been hit by something. This one's quite...
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's quite right for here, or it's a bit more sudden. Yeah.
Ha ha. Hee hee. Oh yeah. Ow. Each.
Oh, this isn't an official sound effect. This was me turning two things into him saying peach. So it's like one of my very few custom Mario sound effects that I've mashed together. And yes, Mario is here now, because it's flipped back to this bit. So there's like him going, yeah, long. I think I called it yeah, long.
Yeah.
Which I might do for him.
Yeah.
And then there needs to be a slightly less long one for the second time that he does it. And probably, if I use a yeah, then I like to use a ha or some other sound effect. Because if you go yeah, it just sounds like you're deliberately like alliterating it. But Mario doesn't actually have that kind of sound effect though. He has like ho.
Oh.
Might just go with something shorter like that. But I just need to time that right. There's actually 3 that I've managed to fit into this clip, so maybe I'll make the shortest one at the end. And then something else for the middle. Making Koopa's quest. I have thought about quests involving the evil characters, quotation marks, like any of Bowser's minions or Bowser himself. And I think that is probably the most likely candidate if I were to do another series along those lines. It's either probably Bowser himself, honestly, would be the most likely. But I don't have a plan for it yet, so I don't know for sure. Favorite Bowser minion? I would have obviously got to have Goomba way up there. In terms of character, I like Koopa I think especially in Luigi's Quest, if you watch the remaster of that I released this year, I quite like the way I handled Koopa's character in that. I made it a little more fleshed out than it was in the original Luigi's Quest, just by adding a few extra scenes. And similar with like Captain Toad's character. So like the way their characters develop is quite interesting in that, I think. So let's see what else we've got here. That's too long. So it's going to finish on that. Probably just this sort of sound effect. That doesn't quite time now. The problem is that I've made this end at that exact moment, so I might possibly extend that slightly just so that it doesn't cut into the next scene. So obviously there's not just Mario in this though, he's the most important, which is why I did him first, but because he's right in the center. So DK comes up second. So there's like these ATK, the way these Mario Kart sound effects work is it's like they come in threes, a lot of them. These are the attacking ones. So these are like using an item in Mario Kart. So that one's a bit long, but they work pretty well for this kind of using a bow. So let's see. I do need two, so that could work, but I might also just try something a bit shorter. DK does struggle to have short sounds, like those are the shortest ones, so I think I might just end up keep that. Oh yes, I do make Mario save Goomzilla in the end. That was a very careful bit of mashing together of all their sound effects. Yeah, I'll probably keep this public, but I don't really know. I don't know how things like live streams affect the way the algorithm works and whatever, which is one of those things. Like, I don't want to keep something there if it's going to somehow be recommended to people when this is more just a chill kind of stream, whereas my other content obviously has a lot more put into it than a live stream of me actually making that other content. So yeah, to be determined, but I intend to keep it if I can. I could splice out one of his sounds to be shorter. Actually, that one actually might just work now that I listen to it. But a lot of his are very like, because of him sounding like a monkey, he breathes out and then in immediately, and like there's not really actually a lot of places to cut. Like, let me just find a longer one. Okay, no, that's a terrible example. Like that. I could possibly, cut something like that after that, but I think it wouldn't quite sound right because of the way he's constantly talking. And I don't think we've got Luigi saying anything in this yet. So he's not actually joining in with them firing arrows because he thinks it's pointless, which is obviously going to be explained in a second, but for now I just need to make him go like unimpressed in some way. Probably just a short sound. Where's that? Oh, that's the one I'm trying to find. No, actually that wouldn't work.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Bleh. Oh. Huh? Oh. What? Ha. Ho. Ho. What? What?
Maybe this.
What? What? Hmm? Yeah. What? Yeah.
I can't quite find anything that's ideal, but maybe this.
What?
just might be a bit too loud. Let me see. It's a bit. It's too striking. It needs to be a bit more passive. That actually could work, because even though it's like striking, it's quite short. Yeah, I think that works pretty well. Okay. And this is first person, but it's from like Mario's perspective here, so we need to have him saying something as he fires. Yeah, it will be on a separate tab, that is true. First, a live stream.
Yeah.
Yeah, Luigi unsure. Trying to think here, what should Mario say? Could make him like charge it up, because there's going to be quite a lot of sound. Okay. So there's two. I can either do this one.
Yeah.
Maybe that for the second one. Or like cut it before. Yeah, I think I'll cut that one before it gets to the actual whatever I choose for him firing, which will be more than a little yeah. Okay. So what do we want to hear?
Oh yeah. Wow. Oh. Wow. Yeah.
Could be something fairly generic like that.
Yeah.
And then something to go there.
Yeah.
So would that one be better first or second?
Yeah.
Yeah. That actually might work quite well after it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just time right.
Yeah.
Okay. I might also put in a dragon sound effect here, actually, because I've got one over here.
Yeah.
Oh, why is that early? I think that's meant to be a bit later. It's meant to time with the start of this scene.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Boing. Wow.
Maybe this.
Wow.
Because I didn't use that, I used a different one. So like, if you use exactly the same sound, I find that it's noticeable, and that's one of the things that drives me absolutely crazy with editing. Sometimes be like, oh, here's a good sound, and then realize that I've used it earlier, and then trying to find replacements for one or the other, you end up going around in circles sometimes. And I probably spend too much time thinking over some of those things, but you know, that's just how I go. Apparently, it's just the way I tend to edit. So which one did I use there? Like, I will avoid using exactly the same growl effect as was just a second ago, because this one's 2. These are really loud. Which one is 1? They're just slightly too long for it to show. Okay. I think this one works if I just make that quieter, of course. Oh, send the mobs to do it. Okay. So I just need that to come at a good moment, probably after he's fired the first one. And it still seems a bit loud. Just a very loud dragon. So I think that will do for that scene. Yes, this tick here is like the sounds that I've used, but this, especially with like Mario or someone who comes up all the time, what happens is, like, when I'm about 8 minutes in or whatever, everything is ticked pretty much, and then I subconsciously end up just searching for new sounds by only looking at the ones that aren't ticked, and then that's very few by this point, and I end up having to jolt my thinking back at, okay, it's okay to reuse some now because they were like 10 minutes ago. So it's actually quite tricky sometimes using those. I wish there was a setting to turn that off, then it would mean that I would not be quite so biased like later on anyway, or like to restrict it to just part of the episode. That would be pretty cool. But yeah. So I need some DK sounds. So yeah, DK is actually sad about, well, he's not really sad, he's just sort of thinking. Which we'll show in a second once we get to that bit. So I think at this moment that he lifts his head up, he's realizing something. So he's like, this sound effect works pretty well for that. It's quite... Maybe I'm a bit late on that. And then I guess we'll need another dragon sound effect. So I used 1 and 2, so that's just... not that one. Yeah, we could do that one. Very vicious. And I need another DK sound effect for here where he's just kind of disappointed. Donkey Kong. So these DMG, that's like damage. These are the sounds of someone getting hit by an item in Mario Kart. So the shorter ones are like someone, you've been hit by a green shell or something, or banana. I think these might be banana maybe, and then the longer ones are... I think those are something really bad. I'm trying to think if that would be like blue shell or something worse. Some of these are fire, like you can hear there's a bit of a burp burp burp. It's, if I hover, yeah, that one has FRE in it, which is a fire sound effect. FRE, so these... Those are apparently what he says when he catches fire. But yeah, anyway, whereas I want a damage one for just him being a bit sad, which would be one of the shorter ones. That one seems okay. Yeah, some of these sound effects are really long. I get much more use out of the short ones, which is partly why I order these by duration. Oh, you can't actually see that menu that I opened, I just realized. But yeah, I order them by duration so that I know that I want the short ones there at the top. That's usually how it goes. And maybe I'll time that with when he shakes his head. So that seems a bit sudden, like a shift from sad to... So maybe I'm, rather than being sad, I might go... Is there any other short sound effect here? It's this problem of finding short sound effects for DK again. Decay Donkey Kong. I'd hope not. What's happened to poor Donkey Kong? Yeah, that might just have to do for now. So this is like a moment of realization. So some sort of... It needs to be quite... especially with Donkey Kong's ones, when they get a bit longer, they are not usually that great as sound effects for this. Because they're very ear achy. That's kind of a nice shocked. Yeah, I like that. Okay. So I need a very high pitched noise. Like I know there's one somewhere. That's 2. Maybe this? I'll just go this. Thank you for stopping by. Yeah, that might work better. I need something like 1 syllable for him to go a bit long. 1 syllable is a very big ask for Donkey Kong. A lot of these are... maybe... No, that doesn't sound quite right. Could even be shorter. I'll go with this for now. So now he's having a flashback. Well, not really flashback, but he's thinking about a couple of things that he's done. So I'll need to give him some sound effects for this part. So something quite happy from going down on minecart. There's a lot of long, happy Donkey Kong sound effects. That one seems alright. Works quite well from going up to the top. Something a bit shorter, probably. So let me just look through these item ones. That's him using an item. They're generally a bit. So which one did I just put in? This one. So maybe that. I'm going down here. And now I think I want quite a long sound effect for this bit. So these ones are often quite difficult to use because they are very loud, very aggressive sounding. Like that. Oh my god. That one doesn't quite sound happy enough. That is good. That's perfect. But maybe I should use that when he disappears. So let me see what other alternatives we've got. So maybe if I look at these dash ones, that's like using a mushroom. Maybe. Actually, I prefer that one. Even though it's shorter, it actually sounds more. And then I might cut this little bit because there's actually quite a bit of overhang, it turns out. And then he'll need to say something when he turns around. Needs to be shorter than these, I think. So this is where I might want to start reusing some of these sound effects. But try something like this. No, actually, I do prefer that here. So I'll re-extend that. There's a lot of second guessing some of these.
Actually, I will reuse that sound effect here. So this might seem like strange music for here. There is a reason for that. After adding all the voice effects, this is actually like the last thing that I need to do in theory for this video. Because I've already done, I usually go through and add all the video up to a point. I haven't actually finished filming it, which is unusual that I've started editing, but I'm trying to get this out as soon as possible. So rather than waiting on everyone being free for filming, I've started editing it early. But yeah, I usually put in the video first, then I'll put in any voices alongside it. So like here, I've got some voices already. This is for the Enderman, who comes in a little bit later in the episode, but also taking control of the species in this world. So his voices are in that. And then I do the music. So that is its own entire thing where I have to try and think about which music fits exactly every scene. And then I do the voices, which is the toughest bit, probably. Just it's the most repetitive, I guess. I have a habit of overthinking what I'm doing on every single voice, so it can take a while, but if I didn't do that, I wouldn't be happy with it. So, you know, I think here I need these two to do stuff. I think I know what I want him to say. He's gonna go, this, maybe this one. Is there I don't think I have disappoint. Oh, I do have something.
Ooh.
Those aren't appropriate.
Oh.
Maybe one of these O sound effects.
Oh. 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 Oh.
Maybe.
Oh. Oh.
That will probably go quite well over here when they just notice him leaving.
Oh.
So that's here, it turns out.
Oh.
What's this? Is a possibility actually that could suit it. His head doesn't really bother time with this. So maybe I'll swap these. Not sure. Yeah, this is the thing that takes so long about these videos, I suppose. Even if I did do voices myself, it would probably still take a while because the rest of it does. But like I've got a montage scene in here which has been very difficult to edit because I'm having to fit everything in to match the music, but I won't spoil that part because that's a bit later on in the episode. Luigi also needs to say something like, oh?
Huh?
Maybe one of these, huh? There is also a where he sounds a bit like yeah, that one might work.
Oh.
That happens a bit too soon into that, so.
Oh.
And then something for DK leaving here. Might just look through these dash ones. So he's quite happy with himself, even though the others are like really going. I could even try and find something longer. Let me just, if I click that and then unsearch. Oh, I thought he could do that. So it's -2, which is this. So I might want something longer than that. Do I have the DK OK sound? I don't think so. I don't recognize that. So, what else have I missed in the chat? Have I met Yoshizilla? Yes, we recorded a video together. It was the Among Us Yoshi's Island. Some of those Yoshi plushes are his. That was a fun project. Ever get content ID'd on the music? That's a whole shebang. Nintendo doesn't claim that stuff right now, and their terms are sort of state at the moment that they're quite happy for people to use content for making videos. So it's I don't know, they're not exactly explicit about what kind of videos, but it's basically they allow you to record gameplay these days and don't content ID that kind of thing. But you do sometimes get people claiming stuff that's not real, so it can still be a problem. It was January the 1st, 2019, I think it was, that they released all their claims on that stuff because they changed their policies, which was definitely for the best. I think it's encouraged people to make more Nintendo videos when they know that they're actually allowed to. Yeah, if you check some of the old videos that used to be flagged, you might find that they aren't anymore. But I don't know exactly what it was that got flagged, so. Do I need this to be longer here? Because I do want to see him walking off into the sunset, but 2 clips might seem a bit. Maybe if I just find a shorter one. Ooh, something happy. This one's probably winning for me. Could even make it a bit quieter as he goes. Probably not too much. I didn't have to do anything when they released their claims. It might just be that they still claim that stuff, or it might be fake, is the other thing, because a lot of fake stuff goes around, but I don't know exactly. Okay, so let's see here. These two need to be a bit more. Let me just check how I reacted with Mario earlier. Actually, I might make Luigi go, what? Because there's a...
What?
That seems like it fits the way he shakes his head a couple of times.
What? Oh.
And I don't like the O here anymore. Actually, I might replace that with... He's now realised what's going on. don't like this, but there's not a huge amount of choice I've got with it because I don't have him saying Donkey Kong or anything, so I'm not going to do an impression for the video. That would be terrible. I could make him say game over. I'm just weighing that one up.
Bye-bye.
Oh, nah, actually, he's like, what's going? He needs to be more like, what? Where are you going? Kind
Game
of thing.
over. Excellent. Sweet.
Ooh. Phew.
Hooah.
Could even be like this.
Hooah.
The horror.
Yeah, horror. I think I quite like that for when he's reacting to him having gone. So maybe there's like a sound effect which would work. One of these for him turning to Luigi.
The horror. The horror.
That could go here. I wonder if he could say Mario. Like, is there a I don't know if there's a confused one of him that I've got.
Mario. 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 Mario.
Yeah, that could work. I'm going like.
Mario. Mario.
I think if that goes a bit later, then there can be something before.
Hmm?
So let me just see how this sounded.
Mario.
Huh?
Hmm?
Yeah.
Huh?
Ho.
That sort of it matches a bit well.
Ho. Mario.
Yeah, like that.
Ho. Mario.
And then they both walk forwards, but Mario's not really said much, so I'll start with what he's going to say here.
Wow. Game over.
In terms of Charles Martinet, I have not used any of the new sound effects, but honestly, I'm not like looking for new sound effects right now. I find it actually can be a problem having too many, but I do it because it's it mixes things up, I guess, when there's more options. Like, I much prefer when I have to edit someone like Kamek who's got 12. It's a lot easier to just find one because there's not many options. It sounds silly. Sometimes the choice could just be too much. But I might down the line see what is available. Obviously, I'd need a place to get them and them to be in a good format to use for a start. And that itself takes its own time, so I just do that every so often when it's a quiet day, but those often don't come around. So what's he gonna say?
Watch it. Woohoo.
He's not happy, so
Boing.
something either neutral or disappointed sounding.
Woohoo.
Probably just neutral. Let's see.
Yeah. Hey.
I've found that his clips do work pretty well from what I've seen. Like, they sound a lot like the old ones, honestly. Like,
Hee hee.
Oh.
Ooh.
what do we want here? Probably a short. So I've already just made him go, and then he's gonna.
Oh.
This actually works pretty well.
Oh.
Just him.
Oh.
Sometimes it feels like something short needs to be here, not Peach. This is one of my favourite sound effects. It goes with anything. You can put that in any situation and Mario will say it. So, if I'm struggling, I often fall back on this one.
The horror.
I don't know if that sounds a bit weird now. I'll see if I still like that.
Phew. Phew. Wow. Whoa. Game over. Woohoo. Sweet.
Something,
Ooh.
maybe one of these few sound effects that's quite.
Phew.
Hua. Hua.
Oh.
Hua.
That one doesn't sound quite so relief. It's more neutral.
Hua.
The horror.
Yeah, I could keep that. Let's see what Luigi would say.
Oh.
Hua.
Something disappointed from Luigi.
Oh well. Oh.
Disturbed.
Oh well.
Oh, something sad.
Oh. Oh. Yeah. Ah. 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 The horror.
Hua.
Ah. The horror.
Okay.
Oh. Ha. Oh. Ha. Ha.
Keep.
Ha.
Hua.
Ah. The horror.
It looks like Luigi's talking there, actually, not Mario.
The horror.
Let me see here.
The horror.
Hua.
Ah. Oh. Ow, ow, ow.
So some other sound effect for Luigi, I guess. Or I might possibly even just cut this shot.
Hua.
Ah. Bye bye. Gotcha.
This editing software is Cyberlink Power Director, which is what I have been using since pretty much the beginning. And I like it because of the way I can put lots of different clips in, well, tons and tons of clips. Like if I load the editing for some of my other videos, there'll be so many of these in, and it does affect its performance a little bit, but I found that other software was worse with that and just crashing all the time. I mean, I've managed to go for 2 hours here and not crash this, so there is that.
Ah.
So what's he gonna say?
Ah. Yeah. Ow, ow, ow. Ah. Ow, ow, ow.
Maybe something that's on the lines of scared.
Ah. Ow, ow, ow. Ow, ow, ow.
Not sure.
Ah. Ow, ow, ow.
I'm not sure that anything I can find will fit, so I might just try and...
Hua.
Ah. The horror.
No, that doesn't work, because like Luigi's moving, so I can't do that. That might just be something I'm going to have to come back to at some point, because I can't think of a good solution right now. I think I will just keep going a little longer, and then I'll probably call the stream here. I haven't really... wasn't intending to do a very long one. I just thought I'd see if anyone was curious about watching this, so... Thanks for everyone who's tuning in. I'll keep going a little longer. So, at this point, Donkey Kong. Let's see. We need some enthusiastic Donkey Kong sound effects. Yeah. I don't like how that times exactly with the start of the music, so I might do like that. That could probably work. Just got to turn it down a bit. Okay, let me just check that those still make sense. Could put in more, but I don't think it really needs it, so I try and avoid just putting in sound effects for the sake of it. Oh, thank you, Stash Bro. It's good to know it was interesting. It's certainly been good for me getting some of this done, which is what I needed to do today. So right now there's two toads where this slow music plays, so I'm going to need them making short things. Suddenly DK comes along and starts building instead. So they obviously need to be surprised at that point. What sort of sounds have we got for surprised toads? There's the terrified ones from earlier. There's wow, that's fine. What other wows we have? That's a good one. I think that owl will probably fit in quite well somewhere. Actually, no, that one's better. Maybe both. We'll see. We also need some of the happy toads. Maybe if they each say yeah at each other. I think it makes sense for that to be a bit later. So there's, and then I'm missing something for when they crouch at the start here. Something quite short. If I want them to keep sounding quite positive, all these sound effects initially. I think that's from a different game, so it's adjusted differently. And that's also quite loud. So this. And then another one.
Take that! Yes! Wow!
Could use a wow, but.
Ouch!
Ouch doesn't sound right because he's not actually being hurt, just kind of a kind of thing. Those are not quite right. What? Yeah, that's pretty good. Actually, let's go with that. There's some sort of angry. Is there? What do we have in terms of angry? Taunt. I don't think taunt is really angry. Is it? No. Okay. I think that one itself will be quite useful later. Do I have any other angry ones? Angry toads? No. So that can time with when he's shaking his head here. Maybe some disappointed. Do I have any else?
Oh, how sad.
I love that sound effect, but I'm not just going to use it willy-nilly. That probably would work somewhere. Okay, let's see. So I need DK coming in here as well. Maybe it's just it starts quite slow, this sound effect, so that actually works quite well because the initial ooh is when he's slightly in the distance. So that what? So it's like he's stolen the bricks off this toad is kind of how you could think of it. So just do a quick. Is that the best one? Are there any shorter ones? So then that makes me want that a bit later. And I probably will put DK saying something next. So that... Actually, I'll time the ha with the toad moving its head. And then DK, when he starts placing stuff, can say something. Thank you, Amazing Merry Brothers. Glad you've enjoyed. Yeah. I think that owl will probably go in the next second. So that kind of happy thing could work quite well. So that can start when he starts to shake his head. And then I think... And then there needs to be one more toad sound effect for the end here. He's like... Ugh, yeah, disgusted. That works pretty well. Wait, why is that already there? Oh, okay, well that works pretty well. So I guess there's one more clip with some toad effects here. Won't be a good... That could be what they say when he comes back again. Yeah. So we need some more Are any of the other disappointed sound effects?
Oh, how sad.
How sad? Oh yeah, no, don't want that one. Do I find it difficult to convey something? Yes, that does happen quite a lot. And I think a good example is this, when I was trying to make Mario seem kind of confused but also sad, but
The horror.
and then like having Luigi do the same. I was struggling in the moment to find a good clip for that, so yeah, I'll come back to that bit. But often I have to plan around the fact that you can't like make them speak from the very beginning, so like everything that is choreographed really has to have that in mind, that they're not really going to be able to say what's going on unless I specifically put that in. But with Mario and Luigi, I just assume they're going to not talk. But it's useful with Bowser to be able to explain the story, or with Kamek especially, that I use these days. And Kamek's the one who speaks the most in this episode. It's another kind of... Yeah, this actually sounds kind of... It sounds like a disapproving mother in the right context. I don't know. And then this one notices DK coming, so this kind of sound effect works pretty well. So I've not timed that quite right, but they do it. And this one probably will go where or something. So could even be ouch, like maybe a DK stood on his toe. So then he needs to like call after him, like I think the taunt could work pretty well because they sound like, hey, what are you doing? Could use that. I actually do quite like that. Let's see. Because it's also for the very end of the scene. I think that works pretty well in that moment. Should I add Mario Luigi Superstar Saga voice clips? A lot of those do overlap with the Partners in Time ones that I use. I think a few of the notable ones are like them saying fire and thunder, but those aren't really that useful. A lot of them are the same. Or that the thing is they're also slightly lower quality, and you can actually tell that in them, which is the other reason why I've not used them much. I've not put them in with my core set, just because they were made for the Game Boy Advance, I guess. Throwing in an emoji. I don't know if that would feel right for the series, but it is a fair idea. I've not really thought about it. What gave you the idea to do this kind of stream? I don't really know. I just kind of thought, you know what, let's try doing something, see if anyone's interested, and if they are, then sure, I'll put something up. It's kind of cool to share knowledge about this kind of thing. Like I can show people exactly what I do, and so that they know if they want to make their own, they've got a bit more information to go off now. Like sort of the thought processes that I've gone through after all these years of doing this. But yeah, just also kind of nice to talk to people, I suppose. The 3DS is I've not actually looked into whether those are better quality, but maybe they are. I guess they would be actually, because it was a full remaster, wasn't it? I've not played that game. I claim sole reason for Alpha Dream going bankrupt. It was all me. I think I might just make the toe go something here. That's my favourite sound effect. Okay. Thank you, God, you're enjoying. Okay, so I need some Donkey Kong sound effects for this bit. I might make that slightly quieter. It's from a different game and it's a bit loud. Okay. So he's just kind of happily building away. That feels like a very final sort of noise. This also feels quite loud. I'll just turn that down slightly. Okay. So it needs something for him building early on. So which one did I just put in? That kind of... That's one of him overtaking someone. Might put that a bit earlier. I don't know if that needs an extra sound effect to go with it, where the angry particles come off. I think he needs to say something before that, because there's a bit too much of a gap. I know the joke is sort of that they're slow toads and not getting anything done, and then DK comes along, but maybe just like halfway between these two clips. It's really hard to notice that one. Is there any more one's like an unsure kind of or like hurt or ow, these sorts of okay, those are too long. Maybe I'll just make this one louder. I don't know why that just seems so quiet. Maybe it doesn't need to be louder. Okay. So I might make DK's voice come in here. No, these are all panicky sounding. There's some of him like going through the cannon ones. These are ridiculous. No, we're not touching that. Maybe. So let me just see how that sounds without me changing. Ooh, it finishes just before. Oh god, wait, that's the same one as before. No, they sound a bit too... Maybe if I make this start a bit later. No, that can be a bit later as well. That actually fits quite well. Okay, then I don't need to. I'll time that with when that toad looks. As long as it doesn't overlap too much with DK. What's that other? Oh. Could just try that. But I kind of know it needs to be shorter. Yeah, that'll do. Okay, so that's the first 3 minutes. I've done the first take on that. So let's we can rewatch bits of it and see how it fits together.
Oh yeah.
Do I want a sound effect there? And actually, I'll see if I did that in the previous part. I just can't remember if I did or not. I'll make that a bit later, actually.
Mamma mia!
That feels a bit too early. Like sometimes watching these things through, you have to notice these.
Mamma mia!
I need that sound effect still.
Hey, Mario.
Residents of the Minecraft world, you must bow down to the Koopa Tree, or this dragon will destroy your homes.
Nobody's home. There's no point destroying this house. Oh, no.
Something didn't feel right about that scene. I think maybe Toadette's sound effect doesn't work.
Yeah. Bye.
I'm not very familiar with her, like I said earlier, so. It needs to be like a huh, but I don't know if she has one. Let's try this shorter one. Whap. I mean, there's that, but that's not right. That could probably do. Maybe we'll make that. Then they don't overlap as much at the end. So I make it not when they're looking up, but now when they're just walking. It's hard to tell that that's the toad that's saying that one. It doesn't sound the most stereotypical toad. Maybe I'll just go, huh? That's a very toad one. Have I tried using any of the clips from Wonder? I haven't actually used any of those. It's quite a recent game, so I've just not looked into it. It's the main reason, honestly. I think I used the wowie zowie effect for the Mario Wonder video that I did not long ago. But that's the only one I've actually specifically got from there. Yeah, I have a lot of sounds. I usually organize them by the character, because then it's a bit easier to search through them. Like, you notice that I keep doing, I'm just like, which sound would be right for this person? And it's really useful having them organized like this. I do have more of every character as well, but I sort of, if I find that I'm not using a sound much, I sometimes rotate it out after a while just to avoid me like looking at it too much. But I sometimes bring them back if I actually realize that they're useful sometimes. So. So does this sound right now? Let me see. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how I'm timing this one, because they're like walking. That would mean Wario needs to be earlier. But then that Toad also needs to be earlier. Then I might put in a second Wario sound effect. Like just a very brief one if I'm going like that. Exactly perfect. And then this can be... So you might notice there they were kind of very evenly spaced out, and I don't think that sounds quite right a lot of the time. You need to deliberately try and make sure there's longer pauses at the right moments. So like here, I'll probably bunch all three of these together, because like all three of the characters that are in this scene are acknowledging the same thing. Which I think looks a bit better, so... Oh. Okay, so might as well keep rewatching everything that was done today. Maybe this hole here actually doesn't sound quite right. I might just remove it. Just American, just vanilla. That could be slightly earlier.
What?
Might find a sound effect of him dropping that. But I will rewatch some of my previous episodes to see what sounds I've used in similar situations.
Oh, Mario? Oh. Ha. Horror.
And yeah, I still need to change that bit around. Which I don't have any bright ideas on right now. But
Horror.
yeah, I'm glad you know what I mean on the spacing. Ooh, could that have been slightly better timed? If that's slightly later? That could be slightly earlier. Actually, that could fit a bit more like that. Okay. Cool. Well, that's basically where I'm going to leave it for now. So yeah, thank you for turning up for this first stream that I've tried out doing. It's been interesting. It's been nice to talk to you guys, which I don't often do, I guess. And yeah, I might do another one sometime. I honestly don't know. You'll probably look at this recording in 3 years' time and realise I've not done another one or something, but who's to say? It could also be that I do one later this week. I've taken a day off to try and edit this more, so maybe I'll do one, but I don't know. It's unlikely, I think. I don't know. We'll see. I'm mostly trying to focus on getting this video out as soon as possible, so I'll do whatever I can to get that out soon. Because yeah, Christmas is coming up and I want to get it done before then. So yeah, thank you everybody for watching, and now I need to work out how to stop the stream without doing the wrong things. Thank you, Stash Bros. Thank you, Bro Fusion. Thanks everybody.